guys of United Rock Nation. I'm here with Big Jesus from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And today we are going to speak about your new album. So, Oneiric. Oneiric, sorry.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's not a common word.
Yeah. But we are going to talk about the title after. But just before, to introduce the fan of France, UK, anywhere, can you introduce your band, because you're new, you've been created in 2000 and, don't know.
2009.
2009?
But so it sounds like we've been playing a lot longer.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of stretch of time where we didn't play, but we formed it together in 2009.
So can you introduce how the band has been created?
Well, it was just gonna be like a side project, like recording, put some things up online for free and all that, and not to be taken too seriously. And it's slowly, snowballed into this thing now to where we have our record coming out at the end of September on a record label, and coming over here and touring Europe and UK and doing a full US when we get back later this fall. And it's become like the priority in all of our lives now, which is totally crazy because we never imagined it would be that, or really aimed for that. But it's amazing that it has, because it's what we love doing.
Yeah,
sure. Then you know about Atlanta. Normally, the cultural music is much more hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have chosen grunge rock.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this particular sound, contrary to in general hip hop music that you have in your country?
Well, we all come from rock music.
Yeah.
We grew up listening to rock music, and along with I listen to hip hop music, but I don't know. When I go to write music, it's usually rock music, But yeah, Atlanta's it's known, I guess, worldwide for a lot of hip hop.
Yeah.
But there's also a really big like punk and hardcore and metal kind of scene in Atlanta. Mastodon, some rock bands like Deer Hunter, the Black Lips and stuff like that, who have seen success around the world and stuff. But yeah, when we got together for this project, it was with the intention of making rock music, and it's just something that we're all very passionate about.
Musically, you sound like a grunge rock band. It's not the music of our generation. No, it's like much more electronics, techno, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, which sounds inspire you to do this type of music?
Definitely a lot of early 90s alternative, as well as like classic rock, like going back to the roots of like Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and the Beatles and things like that. Because that's like the music that my dad listened to. So when I was a kid, that's when I first heard from rock music. So that's always stuck with me. But then like the 90s, taking it to a place of being like much more powerful and aggressive, and that blends well with more of our past of playing in like more metal or punk or hardcore bands. So it just kind of was a natural progression for us to want to do something with aggressive guitars and aggressive drums, but mature more on the vocal side of things and the songwriting side of things, past what like punk and hardcore usually are doing. So and that sort of blend just kind of sounds like the early 90s.
Yeah, that's why sometimes we can refer to riffs and everything. You can say, it looks like, I don't know, Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin. Sometimes, and tell us about the origin of Big Jesus.
Okay.
Have you seen Jesus? I don't know. Maybe it could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, when we started out, like you said, it was not serious at all.
Yeah.
It was we were having fun and getting together at practice spaces and just writing songs for fun. And when it came time, it was like maybe we should put a name to this. I guess we're gonna put this record. We're gonna put this little EP up on the internet for free.
Yeah.
We gotta have a name. CJ one night at a practice suggested Big Jesus just to make me laugh, and
Yeah.
we cracked up. We laughed so hard. We thought it was so funny, and we're like, yeah, that's definitely what we're gonna call ourselves. And you know, for it to years later be something that we are devoting our entire lives to, and it have this name that doesn't mean anything to us. It's like there's no religious connotation. It was seriously just funny, and it doesn't mean anything to us.
But I think it's kind of helped us out as far as there's been a lot of things I think people maybe wouldn't have given our tracks a listen if it wasn't for the name just being like, I gotta hear what it sounds like, because the name's so like ridiculous. So I think it's kind of worked in our favor a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. If at one point we considered to change it, you know, later, like we were like, okay, we're a serious band now, we should maybe try to change our name. It was too late. We're already set in, you know.
Too bad for you.
It's okay. We can live with it.
Let's talk now about Oneiric.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the songwriting sessions and the recording sessions in the studios? Did you recording in Atlanta or maybe in London? I don't know.
It was kind of all over the place because 4 of the songs are from a record we self-released, and that was all recorded in Atlanta. And that was, even in Atlanta, was in a couple different places. Like we did basic tracks in a nicer studio, and then we've kind of finished the rest of it up ourselves. And then 6 songs on the record we did in LA with Matt Hyde, and that was in a couple different studios over there at NRG, at Megawatt, and he had his own home studio for some of the smaller stuff like doing bass or doing vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of all over the place, you know. We recorded on both sides of the United States, but it all came back through and was mixed by Matt all together at the same time. So it all sounds cohesive and came together. It doesn't sound like a big hodgepodge of different places.
So 4 of the songs we wrote back in 2013. And then when we went to write the new material for the record, we really intentionally tried to write songs that would fit well with the older material and not sound, like you said, like 2 different albums put together. So it was our goal to make the new songs something that can transfer really easily from track 1 to track 10.
Yeah, like travel. So, I mean, track 1, and then at the end of track 1, we can directly switch on the track 2. Easily.
Right, and
you know, it's not like a cut between the tracks.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And I feel like we did pretty well at achieving that. Because you can, if you didn't know the 4 songs that were older, if no one told you, you wouldn't know. You know, which I think is a good thing.
Sure. It's much more original.
Yeah.
And we have selected 3 songs which we want to express and then speak to your fans and our fans.
Okay.
First one, Always. It's much more melodic. You know, you have melodic and strong guitars. Tell us more about the songwritings.
Always is one of my favorite riffs on the record. I love the opening riff on that. It's just so much fun to play, and I think it's unlike I don't know, a lot of bands in our genre don't really do too much stuff like that. So I'm really proud of that one, and it goes from that really technical riff into something that's like more just 3-chord, like punk rock, like Nirvana, kind of aggressive song, and that one lyrically too is like one of my favorites. I think it's really cool, and it's one of our more like obscure ones, and it's one of the things that we kind of do a lot, to where it's like probably some dark subject matter, but it's like put into this context with this like song that's in a major key, so like you don't feel weird about it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel dark. It doesn't feel like a negative connotation whatsoever. You know. So, but that always was written early on.
Yeah, as far as the new material, it was written like right after one of the ones that was right after our self-release a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So we've been sitting on it for a while.
Yeah, and that's actually always when we went out to Matt Hyde to record. Always is this one of the songs that we didn't want to change at all. He said this song needs to stay exactly how it is. Nothing needs to change about this song. And then some of the other songs we did, we had some of his creative input to say, you know, this bridge we need to make a stronger moment in this song with the bridge or something like that. And so we were able to rework some of the other songs, but always was
exactly the same as
Yes,
before.
we played it for him once in the pre-production, like rehearsal space, and he was just like, yeah, cool.
done. Next song, please. Yeah. Which that felt really good, honestly. Yeah, because that was one of our favorites.
Alright.
It's probably the most fun to play, I think, live too, because it's a little more technical than some of that other stuff, and so it's fun to, like, you know, exercise your instrument ability.
So you feel like an exercise of the song when you be on stage?
Yeah.
You feel like, okay, so now I'm going to exercise me, and then let's play your ways before, and then now I'm so hot I can't go.
We opened with that song on this whole tour, so it's a great way to start out a set. You know, it's just high energy, right from the start, and a lot of fun to play.
Sure. And but always is not the only one. We have Fader.
Fader's one of the newer ones.
Yeah, it's heavy and atmospheric.
Yes.
Music. So you know, like as you said before, that's join the typical music that you want to do, not so dark as you said, but no, not so high.
Yeah.
But
the energy level's a little lower.
And quite good energy. So Fader has been recorded exactly the same as always, or differently.
So Fader, when we set out to write Fader, we knew in terms of songs, most of the songs we had were really high energy, or at least mid to high energy songs, and we knew we'd probably benefit from having one that was a little
change of pace.
Yeah, a little change of pace, and if put on a record would allow the whole record to breathe a little bit there in the middle. So that was kind of the intent with writing a song like Fader. When we got into it, that was one we kind of did all together.
Yeah. And the whole song is, I mean, the majority of it is like one riff that's just kind of played, like even like the verse and the chorus, it's the same riff, but it's just played loud and soft.
Yeah, different dynamics, you know.
So that one came together like pretty fast, and it's a pretty simple song structure.
Yeah.
And it has some of my favorite lyrics that we have on the record too. Yeah. I really like that one a lot.
And I'm really happy with the melody that we came up with for that song. It's pretty, you know, and it's got really heavy with guitars in the bass, and the undertones of it are really heavy. But it's light and airy and kind of dreamy. That's one of the more dreamier.
So you want to join the heavy and the dreamy, and that's make Fader.
Yes.
And it's sort of the opposite of Always lyrically, to where it's like Always is a little more cryptic, and this one's pretty like flat out. Like you can read the lyrics, and it's like, okay, I know exactly what the song is about. You know.
Or you might have had a number of experiences in your life that you can relate to it. You know. So that's kind of one of the goals, I think, with most of the lyrics on the album. We want to write something that isn't so entirely specific, so any reader or listener can and apply their own like experiences to it. So like they can feel like, oh, I've been there before, I've experienced that before, and it's a broad enough to kind of touch on pretty much anything.
Yeah, but we are still young, right? So the experience we have just a little experience. The experience will be after until that.
Right.
And 13 Rivers. You speak about the riff. You want to create songs with not so complicated, but like something really not easy to play,
Yeah.
but not too complicated. That makes for us Fate in Reverse, because the riff has been well worked, I think, because I play guitar too, so
Yeah.
sometimes I say, oh, okay, so sometimes we hear songs and say, oh, okay, it's easy. After when we see the tab, okay, so let me 2 months.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Practice,
yeah.
practice.
So yeah, can you tell us about this song?
Yeah. Felt in Reverse came together. It was the last song we wrote for the album,
Yeah.
and I think it ended up being another one of my favorites on the record. We went out to Los Angeles with pretty much just the structure of the song, the music for it, and we didn't have any lyrics or melodies for it. Nothing was set in stone as far as vocals go. So we went out there and spent a couple nights working on melodies or lyric ideas.
Yeah.
You know, CJ and I write all of the lyrics together, and so it's like, you know, at that time it was like we need something quick. So you take a stab at it, I'll take a stab at it. We'll see if we can piece some stuff together. Ended up having it was pretty challenging actually, being kind of put on the spot out there for that. So
we usually like to write and then we'll rewrite and then like critique and rewrite. So being put like under like, all right, we have seriously 1 more day left to record this song. You better
we have
come
to
up with
record this
something.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know. So what we ended up doing for that one was, we both have notebooks where we kind of just jot down ideas. We just let ideas flow out on our own time a lot of times, and then we bring those ideas together to see what we can piece together, or see if we can come up with a concept for a song that we can start with a very small bit of lyric ideas,
Yeah.
and then kind of build on them and tell a story with them. For this one, I opened up my notebook. We were both kind of just scratching our heads for what to do with this song, and opened up my notebook and had some older stuff that we weren't using that I'd written, and that actually, one phrase in particular, Felt in Reverse, kind of got the ball rolling. I think once we got that on paper, it was like, damn, well, that's just like a cool phrase, you know. And I couldn't honestly tell you what I was going through or thinking when I wrote that.
Yeah.
But
It was more just imagery.
yeah, images in like words that words that invoke an image. Yeah.
When you listen it, it's all about the you mean the songwritings. I mean the writings. Like if you read the story, you can imagine directly the image, like a woman. But or you can imagine, but you listen just shorter parts of I don't know, riffs or something, and then you say it could be there or there or there, and that's why maybe you passed all the parts in one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So that one, that song was just kind of like piecemeal, you know, right at the last possible minute.
Yeah.
And so I had enough lyrics to go in with Matt, and actually, that song in particular was really fun. Or it was a challenge and fun in the same process. Matt and I had, you know, he was helping with melody ideas for the song, and then, so we basically were writing the melodies as we were recording. So it was like, okay, that was really cool. Now double it. So I was singing again, and then it was finding most of that song has harmony all the way through it, and that was one of the bigger challenges in doing any of the vocals for the record, was trying to nail these harmonies because they're a bit strange melodically, and they fit together in very strange ways. So I'd say that was, in the end, one of the more rewarding songs from the album for us, because of the work we had to put into it right at the last minute, you know, and feeling at the end of the recording session proud of what we had come up with was such a relief. It was like, okay, this isn't a song that we want to just throw away because it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel complete. It's like one of the stranger songs on the album, I think. but that's okay, you know.
Yeah, it's fine. Just if you have only one,
Yeah,
you can listen to the other one. So yeah, we know that you're going on tour in US
Yeah.
on October and November.
Yes.
Is there any plan for the European tour?
Nothing's like set in stone right now, but we just finishing this run. We really want to come back soon because we all really loved it. Because this is our first time over here as a band, and everybody's just like fallen in love with every city we've gone to,
Yeah.
and the fans and everything have been amazing. So
It's beautiful.
yeah, we definitely want to come back as soon as we can.
We're crossing our fingers that at some point next year we'll come back.
Next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Next year, Europe.
So guys, I just want to thank you. And to see you next year.
Yeah.
In
Fun.
Paris, yeah.
Yeah.
And wish you good luck for the next.
Thank you so
And
much.
see you soon on United Rock Nations.
Yeah, thanks.
Right, thank you. United Rock Nations, hello. We are Big Jesus from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. And we're happy to be here with you on the video screen. Thank you very much.